Hello and welcome to the Forged Alliance Forever Community Cast Library. This is your friendly neighborhood Sloth and thank you very much for joining me. We have 2 matches in today's volume. I really hope you enjoy them, guys. Thank you very much. Hello and welcome to another machine mayhem murdering session coming in from the map Pyramid 3 vs 3. We'll call this team at the bottom left Team 1 and this team at the top right Team 2. Starting off for Team 1, opening first land in purple, going UEF, weighing in at 1200, it's Mathew. Second up for Team 1, going blue and Aeon, coming in at 1600, it's Freedom. And then lastly for Team 1, with his ACU sporting a very sexy red G-string, opening first land, going Master Cybran race, coming in at 1600, it's System Failure. And first up for Team 2, in green, going UEF, it's Bulletproof Bob. Bulletproof is 1400 for this one. Second up for Team 2, in yellow, going Master Cybran race, coming in at 1600, it's Godzilla. And then lastly for Team 2, in teal, going Aeon, opening first land, coming in at 1600. Sorry, I squinted there. It's F-Odin. And we have an early aggressive flare out from Freedom, maneuvering his way through the middle. His obvious destination is to get some engineer kills on his mirror. Godzilla coming forward with a scout, and Freedom almost telepathically sensing that and altering the course of his flare to flank through the middle area of Godzilla's and F-Odin's base. And the flare now just coming around this cliff edge, checking out this max, there's nothing there. Coming down here, is there an engineer reclaiming? Yes there is. But Godzilla very quick on the trigger there and reclaiming the flare before the flare has a chance to take out that engineer. Very good early maneuver, or an individual piece of micro from Godzilla. F-Odin quite quickly forward here, getting his expansion area up a lot quicker than his mirror system, and already starting to stream units to the very front line, whereas System just getting a couple of maxes up and coming forward with his comm, not starting any kind of fire-based build here. System electing to get most of his spam capacity up in his central area. System now just sending in some T1 bombers just to try and thin out the T1 land spam being sent forward by F-Odin. And in the middle, Freedom getting forward, getting his base up quicker than his mirror. Godzilla's only just at his expansion area, getting his first mechs up, whereas if we look at Freedom, already got his mechs up and a land factory has been dropped. The engineers are reclaiming, so Freedom comfortably farther advanced than his mirror. And then on the left hand side, same story really for Team 1. Mathew is farthest forward, quickest, already onto an upgrade, already streaming units to the front line with his forward position erected, but Bulletproof again arriving late and only just getting his maxes up. Over on the right hand side, we've got F-Odin in a gun upgrade, his first gun upgrade, and just sending his units just a little bit forward just to scope out what's going on. And those units running into the range of a T1 point defense put up by System, and then just withdrawing slightly, and now System starting to push with his units, taking out that forward radar from F-Odin. And F-Odin now with scouts out over System's position, and he will see that he is looking spammier than his mirror for the time being. We'll probably want to wait till he's finished his second gun upgrade, which he's just started, before he starts to push forward with that advantage. And things looking a little bit bare in the middle for Godzilla, with Freedom a lot spammier than his mirror. And Mathew's just cut in behind the lines of Bulletproof now and taken out a max point with some T1 tanks. Bulletproof has managed to pull a force across and stop any further incursion. So a very small victory there for Mathew, but a victory nevertheless. And as we all know, in the early game, these things can add up pretty quickly. And if we look at the isolated ridges that are on the far flanks of the map, F-Odin has dropped his 2 to get those 2 extra max points. Team 1 yet to do that with their isolated max points on those cliff edges. And now we see F-Odin starting to trudge forward with his comm. It's a double gun comm. F-Odin sending in the air. There's a nice T1 bomber run there from System, just taking out half a dozen units there in one pass. And now F-Odin, having measured up his mirror with the air scout, starts to move in. System currently unupgraded on his comm. And things already starting to look a little precarious for Team 1 on the right hand flank. System just falling back ever deeper into his territory. And on the left hand side now, we've got Mathew and Bulletproof squaring off with their commanders. Some not so civilized right arm exchanges taking place, and Mathew just pulling his units slightly to the side behind his ACU. Oh, and we've got a push coming up from Freedom here, and Bulletproof is having to move his units across to the right to intercept the push from Freedom. This coming about because of the numbers disadvantage that Team 2 have left themselves in the middle, with Godzilla not getting as much spam up as early as Freedom, and Freedom now feeling that he can assist one of his teammates. And Bulletproof is deep into the red now as Mathew pushes in balls deep on Bulletproof, moving his comm in, and Bulletproof is going to go down at 9 minutes 40 seconds. A nice little bit of team play there. The push from Freedom drawing the units across from Bulletproof, and then Mathew pushing up with everything that he had and managing to catch his comm isolated. But now we do have a precarious situation developing in mid now, as Freedom, having sent some of his units to assist Mathew, is now being overrun by Godzilla and his Mantis spam. And Freedom now looking like he's in trouble. Godzilla shoving his comm up as well. Freedom with little assistance from his own units. They were all too far forward, and Freedom is going to go down. 10 minutes 32. And this game leveled up. And then the mayhem continues as on the left side, F-Odin going to war with System. T1 land spammer Huntus, and F-Odin with that double gun upgrade is absolutely shredding System's units. F-Odin's ACU already on its second level of veterancy. Only 10 more kills before it reaches its third level of veterancy. Ain't no way it's not getting there. And now the match flopping one way in the favour of Team 2 and then evening up almost immediately with a nicely timed push from Godzilla, recognising that yes, he initially was outnumbered by Freedom's spam, but with the commitment that Freedom assisted Mathew with, Godzilla saw the opportunity and took it very well. And all this action now is on the bottom left hand side of the map as F-Odin continues to harass the position of System. System just sneaking up behind this cliff here and going into an upgrade, I think. And F-Odin just pulling his ACU back slightly while he amasses his units as far forward as he is pushed. And Mathew now bringing some units across to block any potential push from Godzilla onto System's position. And Godzilla was in fact in the process of doing that, trying to get behind the back of System's base, but Mathew cutting that off very well. And Godzilla now just pulling back that little push there, recognizing that it's not going to be successful. Mathew's comm jumping into a T2 transport here. Mathew looking like he's doing a con drop from the left hand flank to the right hand flank just to try and shore up his teammate System and maybe double team F-Odin out of this game as quickly as possible. Mathew is not currently under any real threat from Godzilla, so deciding that he can afford to do this. What upgrade did System get on his comm? System went stealth and gun on his comm and is now pushing, just thinning out the units of F-Odin, pulling back a little bit. System up to his first level of veterancy. He requires 14 more kills to reach his second. And Mathew here erecting some TML and a radar and an air factory. That looks like something very sneaky and naughty brewing from Mathew, and F-Odin with no TMD around his ACU stood there looking tasty. If Mathew gets a couple more of these TML up quickly, if we just take a look at Mathew's eco, he could probably afford to throw up another TML, maybe even two. And if F-Odin didn't move his comm, that would be the perfect snipe. And it looks like that really a snipe is the only way that they're going to get F-Odin here, as F-Odin's land spam far in excess of System and perhaps even Mathew combined. And Mathew in the center now just trying to swing around the top left hand side of the pyramid and harass the position of Godzilla. Godzilla does have some T1 point defense with wall units established, but that goes down. And Mathew now through into the expansion area of Godzilla, running into another T1 point defense, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. And this looks like a solid push from Mathew on the mid position. How did the TML... Well, it looks like F-Odin's eaten a TML to the face and has gingerly walked away from that. Mathew deciding not to build more TML. I hope that doesn't cost Team 1. I certainly would have been chucking up at least one more TML there. And now System moving his units around the top to pressure this pocket of T1 units of F-Odin, while the two ACUs of Mathew and System now join up together. Mathew getting some point defense up, T1 and Team 2, and System using his comm just to thin through the numbers, and Mathew now turning around, marching forward in unison with his teammate, trying to retake this right hand side of the map. And System just cutting along the bottom of the map now, trying to cut in and behind the forward lines of F-Odin. And what we can see now is a pincer on F-Odin's position. System bringing units over the top, around the bottom, pushing up through center with his comm, and Mathew supporting in center. And whereas 5 minutes ago F-Odin's spam looked pretty much unbreachable, this very narrow kind of multi-front situation has soon thinned those numbers out. And Mathew now with looking like he's got air superiority and choosing to engage the interceptors of F-Odin. Godzilla moving in his interceptors to support F-Odin, but Mathew looking like he's got the numbers to take out Godzilla's interceptors as well here. And what's Godzilla up to? Godzilla currently with just a gun upgrade. I say just a gun upgrade. There is no comm up here for Mathew, and Godzilla surely knows that. I'd be trying to push the advantage if I was Godzilla. Mathew says in team chat, go for it. A ping's gone out on F-Odin, or it may have been from F-Odin, and F-Odin now with T3 land on the field. Well, hello there, sexy harbingers. And when Mathew and System see those harbs, they will think twice about pushing with their ACUs here. System is on Team 2, but there is no T3 land on the field for Team 1. Not even a factory of the T3 variety up at the moment. But System and Mathew electing to push forward. And Mathew heading towards his T2 transport, and there's a drop order queued up behind F-Odin's ACU position. And then just using the gunship to get some fire in on F-Odin. The gunship dropping the ACU of Mathew. Mathew overcharging 3 of the 4 harbingers in one shot. And now the march is on. System taking out that last harb with an OC. Mathew just needs to move to the left a little bit. System's right arm action going into the back of his comrade here and not into F-Odin's face where it should be. And now we've got Corsairs coming in from Godzilla. He's trying to take a snipe out on System here, but Mathew looks like he's all or nothing pushed in here with his ACU, being assisted by the Mantis of System. F-Odin dropping into the red, 2,500 HP and dropping fast. F-Odin walking straight into Mathew's comm. F-Odin is trying to neutral here. Mathew apparently accepting the neutral. Oh, but Mathew survives on 182 hit points. That's crazy. Well, he wasn't exactly swimming in HP before F-Odin attempted to neutral. I'm really surprised he managed to survive that. I bet Mathew is as well, taking an ACU explosion to the face, and now Godzilla moving in some Corsairs just to try and finish Mathew off. But Mathew getting his dance floor boogie on and dodging quite well against these Corsairs. Someone play some 70s disco, because Mathew is feeling the beat right now. And Mathew just continues to dodge the incoming Corsairs. I'm not sure how long he can keep this up for. back down to 300 HP. 150 HP. Surely he's going to go down any second now. But he just keeps dodging. And still, this is pretty impressive dodging from Mathew here. There's no way that he can survive long term. And I think that Mathew did a move order which ended up reclaiming some wreckage, which took him back to a super critical level of less than 300 HP. Oh, and now he's down to 30 HP, but he's still alive. Oh, and he finally goes up. Godzilla, sigh of relief there, must have been audible. And Godzilla now pushing in down on this left hand side, knowing that everything that Mathew's got is about to go up in smoke. And we are 1 versus 1, mano a mano. But looking at the situation from above, System looking in a pretty difficult spot right here. He's on the right hand side of the map with no real units to push with. Godzilla is on the left hand side of the map pushing with units, and System doesn't look like he's got anything to defend this push, approaching his core base now. And there we go, System deciding that yeah, I can't win this, and throwing out the Control K. And Godzilla bringing this home for Team 2. Well, that was a good old T1 spamathon, and just accentuated by some excellent dance move from Mathew towards the end there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stuff. And Godzilla getting his 2 kills, Mathew getting his 1 kill on F-Odin. And if we take a look at the categories, F-Odin winning 2 out of 4 categories in the form of mass and power income. Wasting mass? Tisk tisk. System achieving highest number of kills, and Godzilla winning most stuff built. Player of the match, I think I'm going to give this one to F-Odin actually. I think he did really solid work on the right hand flank for Team 2, which really swayed the game long term. It was his early actions that won the game late game, because Mathew having to move his comm from left to right for Team 1 really allowed Godzilla the time to get some stuff going and take it home. So good job F-Odin, and good job Team 2. Right guys, if you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please think about doing so. I shall catch you in the next one. Take care. Hello, welcome to your next helping of Robot Wars meets World War 3. DrNo, you're on YouTube taking a walk at the start of the match. Shame. Someone ring a bell. Shame. Where was I? We'll call this team at the top T1, this team at the bottom Team 2. Starting off with the players for Team 1 in Old Man Grey, opening first land as UEF. It's the 1600 rated Lyuker. I'm gonna go with Lyuker. Second up for Team 1 on the left hand flank in teal, going as UEF, opening first land. It's Cold for Fear. Cold for Fear weighing in at 1200. Next up for Team 1 in sexy red as Master Race Cybran, it's Whisper. Whisper currently standing at 1100 ranking. And next up it is Celine going in pink, and Aeon. Celine a very tasty 1700 for this replay. And next up for Team 1 in orange, going Aeon, opening first land, it's Setzer. Setzer weighing in at 1200. And then lastly for Team 1 in lilac, going Master Cybran Race, it's Scandal. Scandal is scandalously coming in at 1400. I'm sorry, I just couldn't resist the pun. And players for Team 2, starting off on the left-hand flank, it's SlickNoob in purple going as UEF, currently trudging his way to the left-hand expansion area. Slick weighing in at 1200. Next up for Team 2, he took a walk at the start of the match and we all rang the bell of shame. It's DrNo in white going Cybran, weighing in at 900. And thirdly for Team 2, in his customary combination of Cyan and Cybran shenanigans, it's Death Squad, another tasty 1700 ranking for this match. And next up we have MetierNoob in green going UEF, opening first land, one of many ACUs trudging towards the middle. Metier weighing in at 1300. And then on the right hand flank, in a slightly darker shade of green, it's Bulletproof Bob going first, second land, and now trudging forward. Bulletproof weighing in at 1500. And then lastly, ladies and gentlemen, for Team 2, may I introduce to you GB's official second worst air player in red as Aeon, it's DrNo. Going first land, second and third air, how predictable. And so there are the players. I'm looking forward to this replay. We already have some comms going forward and some civilized right arm action being exchanged between Whisper and Death Squad as they squabble over these rocks. Celine, no such squabbling, however, she just kind of rocks up and starts getting the big old mass straw out. Daff has a mantis that was firing at the hill. I'm sure it was a good idea. And we just have scouts going out now for Team 1, just checking out the situation over mid. And then on the left hand side, down at the bottom, we have Cold for Fear trying to get a max up, and SlickNoob just cutting in there and saying, I don't think so. We'll just leave that one vacant for now, good sir. We'll fight over it later. And then up on the right hand side, Bulletproof, not going too far forward into this contested area of expansion, and as a result Scandal being allowed to get going up there before Bullet does. I think Bullet's still trying to decide whether he wants to measure up to Setzer or Scandal. It's a very awkward slot the flanks are on this map. I certainly don't envy his position right now. And it looks like most of the mass in mid has been sucked up by the 4 mid ACUs, and now just casually strolling back to safer territory. Mathew just deciding to massacre a couple of Medusas on his way down. And DrNo starting to get some drops up for Team 2 on these isolated, we'll call them isolated maxes around the edge of the map. Team 1 are actually ahead on that matter. Lyuker already getting 2 of the left-hand isolated maxes dropped. And Lyuker now just setting up for his second round of drops around the top. DrNo's currently got the bottom 2 dropped and has queued up the right-hand 2 as well. So in terms of early upgrades here, I expect every man and his dog to go gun for this one, but as of yet, as far as I'm aware, just Setzer and SlickNoob doing their respective gun upgrades for the time being. SlickNoob about halfway through his upgrade at the moment, and if we go and find Setzer, Setzer has apparently finished his. Let's just hop on board and take a quick look. So Setzer completing first gun and starting second gun. And just on the right hand side now we have an early push from Bulletproof. just clearing out this expansion that Scandal had got going. And Bulletproof now just using his Lobos just to take out the drop from Lyuker on that plateaued Max and Engineer. And Bulletproof now just pulling back his units as he sees a incursion brewing from Selene. Bulletproof was just starting to get a T1 point defense position built, but Selene quickly laying that to bed, and now Setzer joining Selene by pushing forward, and Bulletproof here, having just taken on Scandal in the top right, is now having to come back down to take on the duo of Setzer and Selene. And Setzer now with a very formidable double gun ACU marching forward. And down on the bottom left we have SlickNoob pursuing Cold for Fear with some units in tow. Cold for Fear, although he has some production up, he hasn't got much spam going yet, but DrNo here has managed to push through the gap between the base of Cold Fear and Whisper, and is currently rampaging and feasting on some eco at the back of Cold for Fear's base. If he could just take out that Hydro instead of shooting tanks, that would be a very good run. Not to be though, but DrNo just cutting some more units in behind the front lines of Cold for Fear here, taking out some eco. And all the meanwhile, SlickNoob marching up on Cold Fear's comm, and Cold Fear below 1000 HP. He's not even called in his units yet, and Cold for Fear is surely going to go down here. SlickNoob looks like he smells blood and is in the hunt. 70 HP, boom! Cold for Fear, 7 minutes 50 seconds, and first blood being drawn by Team 2. But in the upper center area here, we have a pretty sizable coming together between Bulletproof and Setzer. Setzer's already in the red at 2500 HP. There's an attack ping going down on Setzer's ACU. Setzer's trying to pull back. Selene's trying to come across the line of fire to defend her teammate, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Bulletproof concentrating on Setzer's ACU, and Setzer going down. Selene and Bulletproof still going toe-to-toe in the aftermath of Setzer's mushroom, and Metier now bringing his comm forward to support his teammate, and Bulletproof is in the red as well. Selene looks committed here, and Metier just trying to step across the line of fire here, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Scandal's got Mantis moving in on Bulletproof's position, but Metier and Selene now. Selene looking like she's trying to be neutraled by Metier, and Selene and Metier go down. Well, that looked like it was definitely the preferred option of Metier to take that neutral there, and Bulletproof also going down in the aftermath of that explosion. I'm not sure whether that was caused by the double ACU explosion of Metier and Selene, or whether that one Corsair coming down from Scandal just managed to edge Bulletproof's ACU into oblivion. Wow, that was some crazy shit right there. And now Death Squad just as he's starting to think that he's got some room to push into in the middle, he now has to take care of the entirety of his team's right flank, and he needs to get his eco skates on and get expanding, and to his credit he already is. And as for Team 1, they are in all sorts of trouble, but pulling that back, bearing in mind that triple ACU explosion in the upper mid-center there was a ratio of 2-to-1 in favor of Team 1. Although it is still 3 versus 4 in the favor of Team 2, and Team 2 just pushing up on this left flank here with a what was a sizable force of T1 units being pushed forward by SlickNoob. DrNo just choosing to withhold this force, and now looking like he wants to cut through mid and flank the position of Whisper. And we've just got gunships coming down from Lyuker now and some T1 bombers from Whisper just to repel this force of T1 units from Slick. And now the gunships from Lyuker coming across to deal with the pushing forces of DrNo. DrNo there just taking out a T2 max and a T1 point defense position. DrNo coincidentally needs to be careful. His ACU is looking exposed, and just as I say that, there's an attack ping going down on DrNo's comm, but Lyuker pulling his gunships back there. But Scandal's got Corsairs coming up, and DrNo's ACU is the target. DrNo there eating 5 volleys of Corsair fire without even twitching. Whisper's bringing in some Mantis, and now Lyuker bringing in some gunships to seal the deal here. Dro trying to come in with swift wins, but it's going to be too little too late, and DrNo going down at 11-24. And just like that, this crazy match evens up. We are now 3 apiece. Just trying to get my bearings here, as it is absolute chaos ensuing. Do you think SlickNoob's got enough anti-air there? I think someone's paranoid of a T2 air snipe. And Death had just been pushing up to Scandal's area, but now just withdrawing his units. Scandal obviously able to repel that push, and Dro actually helping out with the expansion on the right flank of Team 2 by just getting some drops up to the very top right hand area. And we just go into a little lull now as both teams try and bandage the gaping wounds inflicted on each other in this matchup so far. So this is a good chance just to take a quick sneak at the eco, and jumping out on top right now is Lyuker. He was at 115, now at 108 mass per tick. In second place is Dro, third place is Death Squad on 81. So Team 2 there have 2 of the top 3 ecos in this match. Lyuker and Death just jumping to top now actually. Lyuker dropping down there, so Lyuker's aforementioned stats were probably reclaim related, and Lyuker now sitting in second place for eco, just 1 mass per tick behind Death Squad. But the basic gist of the story there is that Team 2 have 2 of the top ecos remaining. And if we just look at the air presence right now of both teams, there is a significant air advantage for Dro and respectively Team 2. Although we do see Scandal stashing some more Corsairs at the back of his base here, I don't really see a particularly vulnerable ACU remaining on Team 2. Both the ACUs of SlickNoob and Death Squad now under shield, and Dro all the way back in his base. I very much doubt that he'll be a target. And hello T3 land, we have a little squadron of loyalists here starting to edge forward and massacre a group of poor little Mantis. Death Squad clearly transitioned to T3 land. I'm just trying to take a look on Team 1 and see if Team 1 have any T3 land. No, they do not. In fact, the only T3 factory for Team 1 is this Air HQ from Lyuker. Lyuker currently not being able to produce ASF, as he's still getting his T3 power generation up. And of course, Dro not at T3 air yet, so Lyuker, although Team 1 looking behind in the air game right now, Lyuker is a lot more farther along, getting some steady ASF production up, and we just see that DrNo's HQ hitting T3, but he hasn't even started his T3 P-Gen yet, and he is not going to be able to get ASF out on 2 T2 power generators, and there begins the construction of the T3. And we just see Death Squad now confidently bursting forward with his loyalists and his own Mantis minions in support. Scandal managing to get some Rhinos into his T1 mix here, Rhinos of course being T2, and Scandal now just employing those Corsairs that were being stashed at the back of his base just to clear out the loyalists here. There's an attack ping going down on the Corsairs, and both Death and DrNo moving air up now to take out that pesky problem. Death Squad just being forced to withdraw his pushing raiding party there. Probably didn't anticipate the Corsairs coming in and helping out with the loyalists. And we have some T3 gunship on the field now for Team 1. A broadsword up for Lyuker. Those things are nasty. And Scandal now very questionably deciding to actually counter push Death Squad with his T1 and T2 units. Not the best of ideas if you ask me. And we have a Monkey Lord on the field from Death Squad. Excuse me, I just... a little bit of a sneeze there. I love it how I always do that when I'm recording. And we have a Firebase war brewing on the bottom left side now. Some Cerberus turrets pressuring the very edge of SlickNoob's territory. And SlickNoob just getting a second power generator up. No Ravages yet for SlickNoob. And this spider now trudging towards middle. The move order is queued up to the edge of Scandal's firebase. And Scandal now just deciding where he actually wants to run away to. Starting to head towards his core base now. That's probably not the safest location, as the position he's leaving is actually better defended than the position he's running away to. So why Scandal thinks that he's getting away there, I'm not quite sure. And Death Squad now, having replenished his loyalist numbers a little bit, starts to push forward with a supporting group of loyalists and generalized T1 spam. And Scandal not pulling back or control K'ing his engineers and T1, T2 units here. A scandalous decision, one might say, as that is some super easy veterancy for this Monkey Lord. Terrible, terrible unit placement there by Scandal. What a name. I can just make fun of that all day. And Scandal now just trying to employ some Corsairs, and we've got a fair group of Corsairs now coming in on this Monkey Lord. But DrNo and Death Squad saw it early and get expertly behind the Corsairs, and they're going to go down. They won't get another pass. But Lyuker moving his air in now. Lyuker does have some ASF up, as does DrNo. The air battle ensuing here, definitely looking like it's going to end up favourably for Team 2, or it was. But Team 1 coming out on top there, and I think the micro from Lyuker was much better than the micro of DrNo in that instance. And the Monkey Lord now hot on the heels of Scandal's ACU. But Scandal just finding some safety in that of a puddle. But that supporting unit of loyalists and assorted spam now into the main core area of Scandal's base, just absolutely wrecking everything. So Scandal is still alive with his refuge in a puddle, but ever looking irrelevant at this stage of the game, as Death Squad just annihilates what remains of his base. It's like a Cat T1 Max. I mean, I do that shit as well, but you wouldn't expect it really from a 1400. And DrNo for Team 2, having replenished his ASF numbers now, moving forward again to offer support to the Monkey Lord should it need it. The Monkey Lord just hanging out with Scandal's ACU, laying down some torp fire on it, but probably deciding that he'd be doing that until the cows came home just to get that ACU. And Dro actually moving up some torpedo bombers onto Scandal's ACU here. Not enough to put the ACU in mortal danger, but will certainly be making Scandal pucker up a little bit here. Scandal now looking to move his ACU out of the water, as the Monkey Lord just trudges along the top of the left now, top of the map now, moving from right to left, taking out what little was remaining of Scandal. And if I was Scandal, I'd be control keying these T1 P-Gens and these engineers right now, because they ain't going to live, and you're only offering more veterancy to a Monkey Lord that's already on its second level of veterancy. And that Monkey Lord now requiring 23 more kills to get its third level. We do have a broadsword on it, and Death Squad moving up some interceptors to take out that broadsword, but Dro coming in there just to finish the broadsword off. It's a nice hit and run there by Dro. Dro now sucking his air back in over his space, but it looks like the air of Lyuker's been unwittingly sucked in here, and another air battle taking place, and this time Dro's micro looking much better, and Team 2 with a decisive air win in that exchange. I'm not sure that Lyuker would have intentionally done that. I think just the units of Dro coming over this area here sucked in Lyuker's ASF. I'm not even sure that Lyuker's was microed that. And some Ravagers now laying down some fire on this Monkey Lord. It is down to half health, but still at over 30,000 HP on its third level of veterancy, no less. But some Percivals moving in, a broadsword laying down some fire, some Ravagers, it all adds up, and this Monkey Lord is gonna go down on 155 kills. Well worth the investment. Oh, and it looks like Whisper just managed to get a very small incursion force into Dro's expanded collection of mexes here, but Death Squad just taking care of that with loyalists. And we've got in the fire base down here, we've got Ravagers up for SlickNoob. I just paused a second there as I just noticed some TML on both sides. I don't see any damage on comms, so I don't think there's been a snipe attempt yet, but SlickNoob with 4 TML launchers, you would definitely think he was looking for a TML snipe at this point. And Whisper having power issues right now. Let's just jump into Whisper, and indeed he is power stalling as he's trying to get his own monkey load up and a T3 power generator at the same time. He does have some engineers paused to just try and stabilize this power issue he's got for now. But again, looking at the TML situation, Whisper without any real TMD, he does have a little bit but not loads, and now SlickNoob moving some spearheads forward, and they look like they're going to be a right pain in the arse for Whisper. Whisper does have a solitary T2 artillery unit up right now, but those spearheads looking like they're going to make short work of Whisper's firebase. And back in the top right of the map now, Scandal was trying to quietly sneak out of the puddle and find 2 grains of rice to rub together for Rico, but DrNo deciding better of it and getting some restorers and some strats in on Scandal's ACU, and Scandal is going to go down here to just a few restorers. There's nothing that he can do about it, and Scandal, a very unauspicious exit. Back down on the bottom left of the map, having seen the spearheads, Lyuker now deciding to push forward with some Percivals just to try and clear out these spearheads and shore up his last remaining teammates' firebase. How's that monkey coming along? It's half done for Whisper currently. And now the strats circling over these Percivals from Lyuker. Well, they were. And DrNo now just bringing in his ASF while his strats go to work on the Percivals. Lyuker moving down some broadswords just to try and pick some stuff off at the edge of the firebase. And DrNo seeing that, moving his ASF in. Lyuker moving his ASF in. Oh, that was a really bad turn there from DrNo. And Lyuker getting up and behind the ASF, but the numbers for DrNo saving the day, and also the fact that the engagement taking place over some SAMs, T3 SAM launches there. So Lyuker definitely got in there with favourable micro, but the numbers and the SAMs not in his favour, and Lyuker again losing all of his air. But these Percivals now starting to make some real headway on SlickNoob's firebase. And DrNo's got quite a lot of strat bombers at the bottom here, making a beeline for Whisper's ACU. Whisper's under 2 shields, and now getting his boogie boots on, dodging the first passive strat fire. Very nicely done there by Whisper, but with no anti-air in his base and no ASF from Lyuker, these strat bombers are going to get at least 2 more passes on his ACU, and coming in from multiple vectors, it's going to be extremely hard to dodge this long term. And Whisper desperately boogieing his knife, boogieing for his life, trying to get some more shield up, and more shields going down, and eating a strat bomber volley in the face there without dancing, and he's going to go down here surely. Critical lack of micro there, and Whisper going down 26-32, and whew, Whisper throwing out the GG, and Lyuker now, Lyuker throwing in the towel immediately after the death of his last compatriot with a Control K. GG's all around. Well played, Team 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stuff. I honestly can't remember the kill situation other than the triple com explosion in the first 10 minutes of this match. The first 10 minutes of this match was absolutely crazy. I think we had like 6 players dead after 12 minutes. That's crazy. So let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. And categories: Lyuker picking up stuff built, DrNo picking up mass income and power income, and Death Squad picking up kills. In terms of man of the match, I'm going to give this one to DrNo. Very solid air game all the way through, and it was definitely the air game in the latter stages that clinched the game for Team 2. So well done Team 2, well done DrNo. If you enjoyed the content, guys, please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. It helps me out hugely, and still new, still trying to grow. Thank you very much, guys. Take care, have a great day, and may the spam be with you.